happen, and let's keep moving forward. Best of luck to Mr. Tyron Montgomery, the sleeper of the Senior Bowl. And we can't wait to see what's going to end up happening for all these prospects from the Senior Bowl. Don't forget to check out our latest article on Cerberus Gridiron. Oh, not Gridiron. Sorry about that. CerberusFantasySports.org. Our latest article dropped, and it is talking about breakdowns on potential wide receivers and running backs, different type of traits that you can look at for based off of their college productions to see which ones actually translate and help you out in the NFL. So please stay tuned to that. Go check it out.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? There's no way we're here.
You're now listening to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. And now your hosts, Christian and Chris. Powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. I am your host, Christian_CFS, and we got a show for you. Super Bowl is coming up this week. Senior Bowl just finished, and the Raiders still got that number one draft pick. On this episode, we're going to talk about those three topics, but just want to know, how are you doing this week? Hopefully you're doing well. As you can tell, my co-host was not able to make it, Mr. K Camp. I'm hoping everything is well over there, great sir. And as he always says, Alchem to you, which means peace be unto you. I'm hoping everybody is having a great day and evening. So let's jump right into it. Some of the things that we're going to think about during the Super Bowl is it rigged? The Super Bowl is here and everybody's ready to see what's going to happen. A lot of people think that it's rigged because they said that the Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks are in there based off, I guess it was some AI, potentially some leak on September 4th on the actual picture, with Saquon up in the background. Yep, that picture right there. Is it rigged? We don't know. But what we are going to see is a great matchup this week. When I mean a great matchup, we have both defenses are excellent. We are going to be able to see the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. The best storyline out there are the Patriots backed and the what can the journeyman of Sam Darnold do? Whenever we take a look at this game, just seeing the breakdowns, I know a lot of people are scared of what's going to happen when it comes to Sam Darnold. Is he going to flop like he did up in Minnesota? What is the Patriots going to do just to be able to match that Seattle defense? What is Jackson Smith and Jigba going to do against the Patriots defense? And the stories keep going on and on. But the one thing that we do know, let's just talk about the Patriots. Drake May's first Super Bowl. Are the Patriots back? We're going to see. We're going to see how Mike Vrabel is going to get this defense ready. We already saw that the plane's already over there already, looking at everything, getting them ready to go. I think this is going to be a great matchup. I believe that Drake May is going to do what he can most. He does have Josh McDaniels, who has been there before. So everything's going to show within the first 15. We're going to see how the first 15 plays go because those will be scripted. Just like how everybody else thinks about the first 15. What is the Seattle defense going to do? And then is the Seattle defense and just Seattle period, are they focused, especially knowing that their OC is taking the job for the Raiders? So, how does that feel as a team? When you're going into the Super Bowl, hoping that your OC is going to be there for next year, also as well. But then you realize that he's going to end up leaving, going to a different team. Are they going to be focused? There was news out there. I don't know if anybody else saw it, that Shaheed missed the flight. Like, come on, Shaheed. Like, how do you miss the flight? Like, that's the one thing I don't understand about what's going on with the Super Bowl and seeing, because like what my co-host would say, like my co-host and I, we're both going for Seattle. I just like how their offense looked throughout the whole playoff. Even though the Patriots ended up playing like one of the top defense in each and every round. A lot of people saying that the Patriots shouldn't be there, but the Patriots did what they were supposed to do. With them having the easiest schedule in the league, they did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to run the tables against against the teams on their schedule, and then whatever happens in the playoff happens in the playoff. And they was able to continue to beat each and every team that they matched up against in the playoffs. So let's get to it, man. Let me know y'all's predictions. I think Seattle's going to win. I think it's going to be a close matchup. I'm going to say the line is plus 4.5 whenever it came out. Minus 4.5 when it came out on Seattle. So I think it's going to be like a 27 to 21 type of game. That's what I'm calling 27 to 21. Seattle wins. And since the co-host ain't here, man, he can't give us his score prediction. But the one thing that he can give us is his team prediction, which is he texted me and let me know was he was going with Seattle also. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Let us know, like, what are your thoughts about the game? Like, who do you feel that's going to be like an impact player? What do you think they're going to end up doing? Like, what's going to be the key to change everything? Is it going to be that one mistake similar to how the Los Angeles Rams had that fumble in the NFC Championship game, which caused them to lose? Is it going to be a special team play? Pretty much what I was just talking about up in the Rams game. Or all the defense is going to do what they're supposed to do and just have a defensive battle going back and forth. The one thing that we do know is that it will not be a 10-7 type of ball game. Will not be. And I wonder, is that Grim Reaper sleeping up on those Seattle Seahawks, especially since the last time they played the Patriots when they were supposed to run the ball with beast mode on the goal line, and they did not, and they tried to be cute and throw it. I don't know what's going to happen, but the one thing I will say is I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready to watch it. And the one thing I want to know is, what is your go-to meal during Super Bowls? Go-to meal. I know a lot of people like the chips and dip, like hot dogs, hamburgers, wings. Wings are mostly everybody's thing. But, man, what about that brisket, man? Y'all going to have any brisket out there? Some burnt ends, some pulled pork, some pulled chicken? Let us know down up in the comments what y'all gonna have during Super Bowl week. What you gonna have during Super Bowl week? And let's get to it. In the next segment, we will be talking about the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl just happened. A lot of seniors was able to help their draft stock, and a lot of them end up hurting their draft stock. Some hurt their draft stock by injuries, which are never good. But some helped their draft stock just by the way they was playing. Even though the game didn't show much of what people wanted to see in a 17-9 score. Some of the things that we want to talk about when it comes to the Senior Bowl is connect all-star scouting to real draft value. Some of the key points that we want to talk about: Senior Bowl creates separation, not hype. Edge defenders dominate the week. Physical wide receivers help themselves. QB class still lacks a clear alpha. Who's going to be the alpha of this draft, man? We know the number one overall pick as of now is Fernando Mendoza. He is the number one quarterback who most likely is going to be going to the Las Vegas Raiders. man, in the end of the show, we're going to try to do a mock draft to see how can we help the Raiders get to that next level and what key pieces they need to put around him. Could they end up trading a guy like Mr. Crosby, their defensive, even though they just signed him? Can they trade him? Is it worth it? Who knows? But if that cap hit, that guaranteed money isn't there, you ain't got to, wouldn't even trade him just to save it. But let's not forget about, and let's go back to this Senior Bowl. I think Senior Bowl is a great opportunity for all seniors out there to be able to showcase everything that they can in the league. Show them like what they're capable of doing. There will be some risers. There will be some fallers. But you still got the combine just to show off what you want. Some of the things that we need to think about is using this framing. Who confirmed themselves to be the player that they said they was going to be? Who lost the leverage? And who changed tiers? That's the one thing that you want to look at when you're looking at the Senior Bowl and seeing which players' draft stocks went up, which draft stocks went down, who went up a tier, who fell down a tier. Those are the areas that you need to look at, especially for fantasy, since this is a fantasy dynasty podcast that we are doing currently right now. That's the one thing that you need to be able to picture out. Some of the key players that actually helped themselves out, Mr. Zion Young and Mr. Gabe Jacobs. Real risers. Malik Fields, wide receiver value has jumped. The one thing that this player ended up happening, he did end up getting hurt, and that is Mr. Nicholas Singleton. The one thing that we know about him, he had that potential late round 1, potentially day 2 draft stock, but with him having this injury, his stock could end up hurting him tremendously to being maybe a day 2, like a late day 2, like early day 3 prospect now. But we're going to see. Hopefully everything is going to be good with him, because the one thing that we say on the show is we do not like injuries, especially with this running back. We have seen how he has changed the game, especially when he was a junior, when he could have came out, but he decided to go back for his senior season. And sometimes that can hurt you, but we don't know what was his reason for going back. But now we know that he is injured right now, and hopefully a speedy recovery for him. A couple more points with Nicholas Singletary. When it comes to his broken foot, we already know he's going to miss the combine. So that's the one thing that's really going to. So hopefully he can get ready for his pro day. It's going to be tough just for him to do that. But the one thing that we need to remember is that running backs need their explosive numbers. He lost that platform. NFL teams may wait, and fantasy managers should also too as well. So based off of his draft stock previously, right now his stock for Superflex is like a late 3rd round, early 4th round. And in 1 QB leagues, he is a mid to late 3rd round pick. Singletary didn't lose talent. He lost timing, and timing kills running backs. And that's the one thing that we have to do as owners when it comes to looking at your next potential prospects. One of the other people that also had an injury was Mr. Garrett Newsmaker, QB. Senior Bowl helped him separate. Let's talk about the Senior Bowl MVP, Mr. Garrett Newsommer, quarterback from LSU. The Senior Bowl helped him separate. Hopefully, let's see what he can end up doing. We already know he doesn't have any rushing upside, so that's very thin whenever it comes to the fantasy scouts for him. So his fantasy stock would end up helping him. He was just a early to mid 3rd round pick. And 1 QB leagues, he's off the board. So the one thing that we want to get into is fantasy risers for the Senior Bowl. Let's give a breakdown for Mr. Malik Fields, wide receiver. He's a physical wide receiver, wins early in the NFL. Senior Bowl reps translated cleanly. Draft capital trending day 2, which is good, especially for somebody that needs a wide receiver. Hopefully he gets to go to a good team. We'll see who might end up landing him. And Superflex, he is a late first-round pick / early second-round pick. And when it comes to 1 QB leagues, he's an early to mid second-round pick. Fields went from nice depth wide receiver to a weekly lineup upside. So seems like for fantasy, he can be that nice flex play for you if you end up getting the value in him. One of the next guys out there for IDP leagues when it comes to Zion Young. Biggest overall winner in Mobile, 3-down edge with sack upside. Combine is about confirmation, no questions. In fantasy, his stock is an early to mid first round pick. This is how IDP cornerstones are made, not hype production. Let's talk about Mr. Gabe Jacobs, edge. Not flashy, but just consistent whenever he was down there up in Mobile. The coaches trust his reps. Safe weekly DL production. His fantasy stock could be a late first round, early second round pick. Jacobs won't break fantasy weeks, but he won't lose them either. So he's that type of guy that's going to help you whenever you need. So some of the stable and contents players that we're going to talk about, Mr. Bud Clark, safety, Jacobs, Rodriguez, linebacker. Some of these both of these players, when it comes to Mr. Bud Clark, his versatility matters in today's defense. His coverage plus tackling upside is very key, especially for somebody that is actually looking for that upside when they come to their safeties. Role dependent, but usable. Fantasy stock, mid to late second round pick, just for IDP leagues. The one thing that I will say about him, he's not flashy, but you'll start him more than like what you think. And that's the thing about it whenever it comes to the real life NFL game and then the fantasy, when you're thinking about it, like, I just need a guy just to do his job. Mr. Bud Clark is going to be that guy that's just going to do his job. He's not one of those flashy players. He's just going to get into the books, study the film, and just do what the coaches ask him to do. When it comes to Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, coaches love his communications plus his IQ. He has that green dot potential. The one thing that you know about that green dot is that's who the defensive coordinator is calling in the plays to. So do you want a guy like Mr. Jacob Rodriguez on your team, especially if the coaches are already talking about that he's that type of player? Especially if there's guys and teams out there that are actually looking for a linebacker. He's a quiet riser. No one's hyping him yet, but we'll see what happens during the combine if he gets hyped up even more. Fantasy stock, he's a late second round / early third round IDP. These are the linebackers contenders still every year. So if there's a contender out there, late round picks, thinking about a linebacker that can end up doing justice for him, I think Jacobs Rodriguez could be that guy for those fellow teams that are looking for a linebacker. And one of the things that we want to talk about is the low fantasy priority / fades. The low fantasy priority / fades that end up happening during the Senior Bowl were Mr. Taylon Green. Traits didn't translate. Processing lacked. Combine unlikely to fix it, but we'll see. Hopefully he can do something better during the combine. You never know. Hopefully he understands what he did on the film and he can reach back in just to get to work, just to show people that he is a different type of player, but we will see. Superflex, don't even worry about him. Like, he's just a 4th round pick, maybe waiver wire. And 1 QB leagues, like, don't even stash him or even think about him. He'll just be in waivers and just ignore him, please. Some of the traits without commands don't score fantasy points. So that's some of the things that we need to look at when it comes to guys that are playing in the Senior Bowl. And one of the last but not least, one of the sleepers that we have to talk about is one of the small schools that showed up at the Senior Bowl, Mr. Tyron Montgomery from John Carroll University. Wide receiver went out there, listed at 5'11", 190 pounds. This dude put on a show out there. He showed that even though he did go to a small school, that he belongs in the league. We just have to step back and see which team is actually going to give him that chance, just to show that he can help them. The one thing that this did for Montgomery is, yes, he is still an unknown, but it put people on his radar. Now people are going to start going back, looking at his game film to see what he does. He runs route explosively and has bested almost every corner on jump balls, and that is superb right there when it comes to a 5'11" wide receiver. He's absolutely getting an NFL Combine invite, and at this point, as his draft story is just the beginning. So that's the one thing that is great about this kid. We're gonna see what he's gonna do, man. Like, his thing is just beginning right now. Let's see what's going to happen, and let's keep moving forward. Best of luck to Mr. Tyron Montgomery, the sleeper of the Senior Bowl. And we can't wait to see what's going to end up happening for all these prospects from the Senior Bowl. Don't forget to check out our latest article on Cerberus Gridiron. Oh, not Gridiron. Sorry about that. CerberusFantasySports.org. Our latest article dropped, and it is talking about breakdowns on potential wide receivers and running backs, different type of traits that you can look at for based off their college productions to see which ones actually translate and help you out in the NFL. So please stay tuned to that. Go check it out and let us know. What are your thoughts about it? Come back to the show. Tell us your comments, what you like, what you didn't like. And let's have a conversation just to keep it going forward. And now to that segment that everybody wanted to know. How can we build the Raiders back up? How can we build the Raiders back up? What is best for the Las Vegas Raiders in this draft? Man, the Raiders need everything, especially with their new head coach and Mr. Kubiak coming over. The one thing that I'm thinking about, and y'all let us know out there, Raider Nation, what do y'all need? Because we can't say it. Like, let us know down up in the comments, what do y'all need? Personally, I'm thinking that y'all do what is best for the team, and let's spend that money up in the trenches. Let's get yourself some of the top like best guards out there, 1 and 2, that's going to help the team out, and then also draft like a rookie center. That's what I think that can help y'all out tremendously, building the trenches up, and then also going with y'all's number 1 overall pick in Mr. Fernando Mendoza. But let's start with the reality, though. We already know that y'all are not one player away. The draft is about resetting identity, stabilizing the offense, building confidence in the locker room. Because we know y'all got a great running back there, Mr. Ashton Genty. You also got a great tight end in Mr. Brock Bowers. Now let's bring it home, man. Let's bring it home. Get yourself a nice offensive line. Maybe dip up in that wide receiver pool. We already know the one thing that the Raiders do not need to do. I know Al Davis wanted to win, baby. Just win. But this isn't about winning the headlines. It's about winning Sundays 2 years from now. And it starts now with Clint Kubiak. When it comes to him, whenever he gets his team, what is he going to do first? What do y'all think he's going to do? I'm hoping he's going to go for fixing that offensive line, because we saw what he did when it came to Seattle. Let's think about what the Raiders should prioritize in order. Priority number 1, that's going to get that quarterback. If their board is set right, I think they should, like I said before, been saying throughout this whole podcast, they should go for Fernando Mendoza. If there's a quarterback that the staff really believes in, you take him. Not forcing a quarterback, forcing a miss. Missing on a QB sets franchises back 3 to 4 years. Look at what happened to Sam Darnold, the Jets. That organization there has been missing QBs after QBs after QBs. And the one thing I'm also going to put in here is, man, be patient. Be patient with your rookie QB. Make sure you're building the right pieces around him. Let him feel confident like he was that player back in college, the player who you're drafting him for and what you're seeing potentially in him. The second priority, I think, is they need to go offensive line. Offensive line helps protect whoever is under center. Hopefully, it is Mr. Fernando Mendoza. Like what we said before at the very beginning, we need that interior offensive line. Plus, tackle depth matters also. Senior Bowl showed how quickly O-line flaws gets exposed. A young QB without protection is a failed plan. We've seen what happened up in Carolina with when it came to Bryce Young. He ended up getting benched because there was nothing just to protect him. Do y'all want to do that to Fernando Mendoza because y'all don't have anybody there to protect him and he could end up getting hurt? Nah, we don't want to see that happen. So protect him. And we're going to see how good we're going to protect him when it comes to this mock draft. Priority number 3, defensive front / pass rush. Like what we've been talking about. First thing, you already got a great DN out there. Keep building those trenches up. Keep building them. And hopefully he wants to stay. But if he doesn't, just give him his wish, man. Let him go. Edge, depth, fuels, monitors defense. Raiders need pressure without blitzing. That's the one thing that everybody needs when it comes to their front four. Senior Bowl's edge class is deep. That's the one thing that we know is that the edges here are very good this year. Very good and deep. Pressure fixes coverages. We've seen that happen. Like there's plenty of cover sacks out there because your front four is able to get to the ball. Some of the things that I think that the Raiders should avoid, chasing traits over football IQ, drafting for need only, falling in love with combine workouts. Because we already know, people already called it right now. It's just underwear Olympics. What they do up in the combine is not what they did in their game film. So it's best that the GMs go back and kind of compare the two back and forth to see what ends up happening. Great drafts are boring in April and fun in November. So we're going to see how boring some drafts are going to be, man. We're going to see what's going to happen. Best case draft outcome for Vegas is the QB with conviction or trade back for capital. QB for conviction or trade back for capital. Raider Nation, what y'all doing? You taking your QB of the future? Do you believe in Mr. Fernando Mendoza? Or are you trading back for like draft capital? Is this the year that you can get some good draft capital? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I want to hear y'all comments down below. The one thing they need is an immediate O-line contributor because you got your workhorse back there and Mr. Ashton Denty who is ready to run. The defense's front 7 playmakers. They need something. They need something to happen on that Raiders defense. Day 3 depth with special team values. That's what we need is the values on that day 3. Leave the draft with protection, pressure, and a plan. That's what we need for them to do. And let's take it back now. Let's do a nice little mock draft. We might do 1 or 2 of them to see what your thoughts and everything. And let's just get into it. All right, man. Raider Nation, we are on the board. Let's start the draft and let's see what's going to end up happening. So, as of right now, we see that you, or let's just say us as of right now, since I'm playing the GM, we do have 11 trades that's on the board. We could fall back to 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 14, and 15. One, don't ever think we're going to fall back that far. The most we'll fall back is probably to 2 or 3. I could see 4, but trying to figure out, I can see why the Cardinals would want to jump up to the number 1 overall pick. Like, do they actually trust Kyler Murray? I don't know. We all don't know. So we'll play like a couple of drafts up in this. We'll do it as like we're not going to trade the number 1 overall pick, but what we can do is trade it in the future to see what can happen. And let's see if we can do like 1 or 2 of these. So the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to accept any trades whatsoever. We are going to take the number 1 pick overall and Mr. Fernando Mendoza, because we feel that he can play out our did not realize I still had the Panthers on. So I guess I'm going to take their pick too as well. But let's not even think about that. We already know the Panthers, they need a defensive end or a linebacker. That is good value with Gerard McCoy falling that far. But this is not about us. This is just about the Raiders. So we're just going to pick a guy real quick and just keep the draft going, so we're not slowing up anything. So the one thing that we need to look at is, we have the QB of the future. We have the QB of the future. And the one thing that we need to do and we need to analyze is that what do we need? We're going to play devil's advocate again. We know that the rookie or that the NFL draft is after the free agency period. So what we want to do is to think that, okay, yes, we have our guy, we have our guards, and we have our tackles. So some things that I want to look at to see what can help them out immediately. Do we get Fernando Mendoza a wide receiver, or do we continue to help that defensive line and then that DN? So I'm gonna look at some of these draft picks. We know they need a wide receiver. Is Chris Bell the actual type of guy? Yes, we saw that he ended up doing good each and every year that he started trending up. That's a good thing, but that's not everything. We also got to see some of the competition that he played up against. And it's just not always about that. It's let's continue to go back to look at some of the other outcomes. Like, can we get a nice wide receiver? I mean, not a wide receiver, but a corner, just to help them out. Can they also get a DN? That's something that is greatly needed, especially when it comes to the Raiders. They're not building just for this year. They're building for next year too. So let's go and get them this nice little safety right here, Mr. Dylan Thiemann, just to help them out. So we're going to take him. Still, we got, what's the name on the clock? We got the Carolina Panthers because I had them selected previously. Let's just go on and give them let's just give them this corner. Well, even though they don't need corner. So let's go with this wide receiver. Amari Cooper Jr. Not really worried about their team, so I'm just selecting players. But let's look at the overall when it comes. So off the boards, based off the picks that we got a quarterback. Then we have our safety. We know that this team is not ready to win now immediately, but the one thing that we want to look at is we want to try to bring in bodies just to be able to protect their future QB. And they got a great guy sitting right here in Mr. Max. Ooh, it's not looking too good, but you can see the progression as he continued to grow each and every step. He is a right tackle, which is good. He will not be protecting the blind side of Mr. Mendoza. So And also, like what they said, is we don't need to draft for need all the time. So let's continue to look elsewhere to see who is actually out there that is better for them. Um, y'all help me out right here. Like, who would y'all end up selecting right here? Did I end up making the bad move? Y'all let me know down up in the comments, like what you would do. We already got Brock Bowers as a tight end. Let's look at some of these trades, man. Let's look at some of these trades. So the Cleveland Browns want to trade with us, and who else wants to? The Jaguars. So let's see what the Cleveland Browns do. We'll give them 67. They'll give us 70. You think, can we get 107 too? Okay, we can't get 107 also. Maybe we can get like 10. All right, let's try this. So we'll try to get 104. Well, actually, let's see if we can get our pick back. See if we can get our pick back in the 104. We have a 68% chance just to get this, get our 139 back. Hopefully that's going to help us out. So it did. It was a success. Let's resume the draft. We ended up drafting down to number 70. And then some of the players that are there, this is one kid that I'm excited to see, Mr. Chris Baswell II. We actually talked about him earlier in the draft, but also we got Mr. Jake Slaughter here. This is another thing like that I talked about, like them getting their guy. So based off, let's look at what they did. He was superb his sophomore season, but I understand I talked about he's a great wide receiver, but I'm going to actually go with Mr. Jake Slaughter as shoring up that offensive line. I'll just send Mr. Braswell to the Carolina Panthers. When it comes to Raider Nation, let's see who we are going to go with. We have D end and Mr. Barham. Outside offensive tackle. Let's look at this cornerback. What can he end up doing for you guys? Can you get your guy? I will say this guy is very consistent. Based off his numbers here, pass snaps in the slot, wide snaps, total yards. Even the yards wasn't there. Let's see what he can end up doing for you guys. I think that's a decent pick, especially in the 4th round, Mr. Nick Singleton, even though he did end up getting hurt. But let's go with this wide receiver, and let's see what ends up happening. So Bud Clark is one of the guys that is rising in this draft. We already took a safety already, though. So even though he is rising, there's nothing wrong with making your team better just because the best player is available right here. So we're taking Mr. Bud Clark for Raider Nation. When it comes to, we'll just put the Panthers with like a running back. I'm not really focusing on what they have right now. We're focusing on, and let's continue to build with this team. Let's continue to build through the depth. Let's continue to build our depth up. His pass blocking grade is pretty high, and his run blocking grade was pretty high when it comes to. But you also got to look at who he played against, which is some of the top teams. Like, didn't do too well against Vandy, but let's go and get him, man. Let's get him. Let's continue to build up that core in front. Let's continue to do it. So just looking back at the picks that we have Fernando Mendoza, we got Dylan Thiemann, we got Jake Slaughter, we got D. Sang Threebling, and we got Bud Clark, which is from a Senior Bowl, who has done some good things. And we also got a guard. So we're continuing to think about the team's future. I know y'all are probably going to not like this Bud Clark pick, but he was and is, I think, great value, especially right there. Could be a great on special teams for you guys. Just a good thumper and hitter. So some of the next things that we're going to look forward into, do we trade back in this draft? again, let's see what we got. What are people trying to do? We're at pick 139. Next pick ain't two. So if we do trade back to the Colts, let's see what they do have. So pretty much we wouldn't get anything good out of it, I don't think, personally. So staying put is probably the best case. That's just what I think. Y'all let us know down what would you do. So I'm still thinking if we go with this middle linebacker out of Texas, or do we get Mr. Bryce Lance out of like as a wide receiver? Everybody loves wide receivers. Did pretty decent when it comes to him on the FCS league. Well, let's see what he's going to do for them. Do we take Mr. Drew Shelton? I'm big on trying to get that depth piece, but this is not a win now type of team that's ready. We're just chill building for the future. So I'm going to go with Mr. Bryce Lance just to get a nice little dart throw out there to see what can they end up doing. Most likely they probably trade back in the scenario, but let's just do this for them. And let's go right here for them, even though that's really not making a difference for them because what we're trying to do is we're focusing on the Raiders draft right now. So let's look at everything that we have right now. So we have a nice wide receiver who plays majority of his snaps. He had tremendous yards. Seeing if it's going to translate to the NFL. Passing snaps, slot snaps. So he's not a slot guy. He's on the outside. So let's go see what's going to happen with between him and Thornton. Let's continue to look to see what's going to end up happening. Let's continue to go through. Do they get a backup QB there, Mr. Jalen Daniels? He was pretty decent for the Raiders. I mean, not for the Raiders, but for the Kansas Jayhawks. So we got Jake Slaughter. I was thinking about getting another tight end. Is he a switch guy or does he all play? Yeah, he's just a true center. True center. Logan Jones for this. What about Trey? Let's see. So he is a left tackle. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with getting him. Is he going to play left tackle in the league though? But let's just say hypothetically he does. Let's just get him as a flyer, as a guy that we can end up training him for and training him with. So we are back at the top of the 6th round. Like what they say here, it's more of all of depth pieces. And since they're all depth pieces, I'm trying to look at some guys that are fast, or let me do this Caleb Proctor, man. I'm like getting guys that nobody can think about. Might be one of your sleepers. Many people don't know much about them. One thing, all we know is that when he was on the field, he did his thing for Southeastern Louisiana Lions. So let's go with him. Let's draft him in the 6th round. And some of the guys are still staying up on the board right now. They're just continuing to fall. Still looking at what's best for the team. Maybe we can dip at corner. He did perform pretty decent this year. So let's just put Mr. Jaden Candy in there. Not really caring who we select here. Just draft that. Continue to keep things going for the Raiders. So we are in the 7th round. We got 2 more picks. And let's see what ends up happening. Still trying to get guys that are, hey, just because he's at the Navy, man, I might just go on and get him because we need some guys on the offense and then on special teams. Let's go and draft him. Let's see, who should we put there? All right, for the Raiders, last pick in the 7th round, we're just going to do a flyer. Some guys that we think that can have good upside, good production. Let's go with a guy like Miller Moss, man, just to back us up, man. There's nothing wrong with having a nice guy in there just to back us up. Let's see what our draft overall grade is. Let's see what it is. I'm not too worried about that. So Raiders Nation, let us know your thoughts on this draft. Let's do a nice little recap. Ended up trading back in the third round. I would like to see who they said we should have taken right there. Y'all let me know. Who should we have taken right there? Obviously, I think this would be a decent draft, especially if I was a Raiders fan. I probably would have to dig a little bit deeper to understand who the Raiders need as a whole on their team. But overall, I think it's a good draft. Number one overall pick, we went with Fernando Mendoza. We came into the draft thinking that they did shore up the guards in free agency. So since they shore up the guards in free agency, I wanted to go with Dylan Thiemann, but they gave us a C+. Would like to see what was a better option there. Y'all let us know who we should have taken, especially since we do got Bud Clark now. Wouldn't be shocked if that's showing that Bud Clark ends up taking the job from Mr. Dylan Thiemann. But then we ended up coming back in the third round, Mr. Jake Slaughter, thinking that they do need a center to pair with the rookie. Then Mr. D. Zimbly or Sterling. Y'all don't mind me butchering the names. Bud Clark, Mr. Bew Stevenson, guard out of Iowa. Came back with Mr. Bryce Lance as wide receiver in the fifth round. Another fifth round pick, Mr. Tackle, and Mr. Trey Zong the third. Wanted to get a defensive line guy that can end up helping out as a depth piece, Mr. Caleb Proctor. Then at cornerback, we went with Mr. Jaden Candy. Just took a flyer in the seventh round because it was a guy from Navy. So I figured he'll be a nice hard hitter, special team player, guys that you need that's ready to stuff out. And then went with the last pick, Mr. Merle Moss. Was a great quarterback when he started off in college, but then he kind of fell off later on. So we're trying to see like what can end up happening. Nothing wrong with him having that competition. You got Geno Smith there. Then you also will have Mr. Fernando Mendoza, but maybe Miller Moss can end up showing you guys something that he had back in the Flash. But that's the draft. Let me know how we did. But we're back at it. We're back here. Let us know how we did up in the draft, Raider Nation. Did I completely botch the draft or did I not? Did I do a good job? And if I didn't, let me know. You think I should do another one? Just do a straight one, straight down, not having another team in there just to make us think about the odd things. Let me know. Like, all right, okay. Yeah, I'm hearing it now. We want a new mock draft. So the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Panthers off. We're going to go back into the lab and we're going to actually put our hats on. Let's bring it back again. And let's just draft for real, man. We don't have any other extra picks. Going straight in, trying to see. Let's get started. Let's see how many. So we got 3 trades. Nothing is valuable. I would say I'm still sticking with Mr. Mendoza. Like, I don't think there's anybody else that can like help you out there, but maybe not. Let's see what can end up happening. Let's say Mr. Max Crosby is on the board right here. Mr. Max Crosby is on the board. Dallas is calling us right now, seeing what's going to happen. So we are not getting Max Crosby is not. So what y'all think we can get for like Max Crosby? Because I'm trying to pull back off what happened when the this might look. Let me see if I'm gonna put Max Crosby. They ain't gonna trade the 6th, but I know they'll trade the 24th. So if that's the case, let's go back to the Cowboys, get the 20th. So we can't get any future capital, but will we do something like that? Mr. Max Crosby, yeah, let's go and just take the offer. Oh, they did not accept it. Oh. Okay. They did not accept the offer. So let's go on and continue to go down the draft, and we'll try to slow it down if we can. If we can pause it, we'll try to figure it out. But let's go and track our guy, man. Let's go and draft him. Let's see. Let's pause the draft right now. Actually, we're at pick 32. So that's really not pausing it because the Cowboys ended up taking TJ Parker, which pretty much it would kind of been pointless. If that's the case, then why would we even trade for that pick? Because then you end up taking a guy that's really doesn't have that stability. So let's continue to move on. Let's continue to move. We are picking at 36. Let's see who went off ahead of us. I do like that safety right there, Mr. Emmanuel McNillan Warren. But let's think about it now. What do the Raiders need? I do need another guy just to pair up with Max Crosby. Just thinking about this overall. He's not pretty decent, but when it comes to the pass rush, I think this guy will be lethal with Max Crosby on the other end. So let's go with Mr. R. Mason. Then 3rd round pick. You know what I've always said, let's continue to build through the trenches. Mr. Connor Lowe is not going to help us there. I'm not too high on that guy. Trinidad, I think this would be a great selection if they did not take a quarterback overall, but you can't pass up on Mr. Fernando Mendoza. So let's continue to think higher. Let's go with Mr. CJ Daniels, maybe potentially. Let us know what you want, Mr. Raiders Nation. This is me going back for round number 2, seeing if we can do better. This time we got Mr. Chris Braswell. This is where we traded last time. Let's see what some of the trade offers that we have. We do got the same selection, so maybe we'll do that. 67. Let's trade with Cleveland again. Let's do. No, they're gonna give 139. And what we get last time? Like, let's see, 147. Let's try a 205. Let's see if we can get 205 off them. And they accepted, so we just moved back a couple spots. Still have our guys there. Continue to build everything through the draft. Last time I took Jake Slaughter. They said that was not a good selection, but what does the simulator know? Oh man, I did not mean to take him. Can we go back? Can we go back? Let's see if we can go back. I did not mean to take him. I did not mean to take him. But oh well, man. We got him, man. We got Clemson Tiger, Blake Miller. We got Blake Miller on the squad. Ooh, y'all let me know if that was a bad pick, man. Let me know if that was a bad pick. I did not mean to take him. But I do like Mr. Jacob Rodriguez. I think this would be a great selection when it comes to the Raiders. Definitely drafting him in the 4th round just to help them out. I think this is another great selection. You either get to pick with Mr. Nicholas Singleton or Mr. Katon Allen. Since Nicholas Singleton is hurt, I think the best thing that we need to do is have a guy to pair up with Mr. Ashton Denty. especially like how they did, like very productive throughout the whole year. Like you can't ask nothing but that. So I am going with Mr. Katron Allen. Especially seeing how Kubiak ended up using the Raiders. I mean, not the Raiders, but the Seahawks running backs this year. Let's see what's going to happen. So now let's sit back. Let me see. Looking for that guard potential help. We did not make any trades right now. We do have a running back. Looking at the picks that we have, we went quarterback and Mr. Fernando Mendoza. We in DN, tackle, Jake Rodriguez. I think that is a superb pick, especially since they said he has the potential to be the head play caller for the Raiders. So you got your quarterback on the offense, and then you got your quarterback on the defense, which I think is great, especially building them up for the next couple of years. Let's see what can we do with this. Nah, not the center. Let's go with this. Nah. I'm trying to figure out what we can do to help your guys out. Maybe we go wide receiver here. Oh no. Let's see what can end up happening. Maybe we just trade back, man. We got a couple picks to like our next selection. Let's see what's going to end up happening. I've already taken a tackle. Let's just go with this quarterback right here. Y'all let me know if that was the worst selection ever. Y'all gonna blast me up in the comments. I know we need a DN to help him out. Let's continue to build through the trenches. So we end up getting the linebacker. We ended up getting, let's go DN right here in the 5th round. Not trading. We're just going to keep focusing on the draft and continue to build what we think and who can help us. Bishop Fitzgerald. We're not going to be doing like what the Vikings GM did, talking about he went to PFF and just looked at their grades and based off that end up drafting them like that. Yeah, we ain't going to do that, y'all. Where did he play? Deep half. All right, we're going to get our guy like we got the last time, Mr. Caleb Proctor. No, we coming up, so how many more picks? We still got 4 more picks, so this is where we're trying to build that depth. Let's go with this DN right here, just to put up on the outside of maybe we don't go DN. What about this? No. I'm going to have to get back up in the lab. Let's go with this safety right here, man. He just had a one-off year. All right, let's see what can we get. I don't know. Y'all let us know, man. Down up in like the, was it the 6th round? Like you're trying to you're kind of throwing darts out there, like getting depth pieces. Potentially, let's look at this Parker guy, man. So we get him as a center, y'all. Like, yeah, let's just get him, man. Maybe he can be that swing tackle type of deal. Play nothing but right tackle. So this we're trying to get people who can end up making the roster. It's a corner. I already know you played corner the whole time. Box, deep. Let's see. Let's just go with the center. Let's go with the center to give you a depth. And let's see the last two picks. Let us know what and who we should select. Nolan. Let's go with this. We need a slot guy up on defense. And last pick of the draft for us, Raider Nation. Let's see. We won him last time, but let's try to get somebody. Try to get somebody else. Let's get Vinny Anthony II. Don't know who that is, but the name sounds pretty good. Let's see if we can hit a diamond up in the rough with Mr. Vinny Anthony in the 7th round. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what our grade is. Man, what y'all think, man? How you think we did? So we made the trade, ended up getting a DN. So draft rank top 37th of Raiders draft is an A. So Raider Nation, we did the 2nd round pick, man. The second go by. How you think we did? Let us know. Let us know down up in the comments. We got Mr. R. Mason Thomas for DN in the 2nd round. 3rd round, we got Blake Miller at tackle. In the 4th round, we hit the other golden Jacob Rodriguez. Then when it comes to the 4th round, we went Craytron Allen. I think that would be a great 1-2 punch with Mr. Ashton Genty. Then we ended up going at cornerback, Hezekiah Masses. Then we went David Oki, Caleb Proctor, Isaiah. I'm not going to even try his last name. Parker, not going to try his last name either. Devonta Smith, not the one from the Eagles, but. And then we went Vinny Anthony II. Let us know how we did. Your final thoughts. Ended up doing it big. So, as you can tell, this podcast went a little bit long, mostly because we did 2 mock drafts for the Raider Nation. Wanted to see how they ended up doing. Y'all let us know down in the comments. As a Raider fan, did I do good? Did I do y'all justice? Or was the draft completely garbage? Let me know who you would have selected. Show me some of y'all's picks down up in the comments. And let's go on and get out of here, man. It was a great show, man. We talked about the Super Bowl, who we thought was going to end up being impact players versus the Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. Both me and the co-host. Sorry, Mr. K. Camp, you are not here, but the show must go on. So he picked Seattle. I did too. Then we talked a little bit about the Senior Bowl, and then we brought in a mock draft for the first time in 2026 with the Raiders just to see what we can end up doing for them. Can we build them up from the end? And let's continue to build and grind. Now, what the co-host says, always, you could have been anywhere else, and we are very thankful that you are here watching us, man. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and go and click that subscribe button. It is totally free. And check out the merch down below, man. We got a couple of snapback hats that we're trying to get more awareness out there of the brand, continue building. Don't forget to check out the article. And like what they always says, Mr. K. Camp always says, spread love and not hate.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.